we'll go for the asana which gives you the strength in thighs, strength in your back, and that is a Malasan. So Malasan is actually also known as squat, and it is, as per the Sanskrit, it is actually expelling out, the position for expelling out dirt from the body, Malasan. There is a confusion between Malasan and Malasan. These are two different poses, Malasan and Malasan. Malasan is a garland pose and it is similar, but it has a different effect little bit, and Malasan has a different effect. So coming to the contraindications, Malasan should not be performed by people who has very weak knees, or who is suffering from any injury to knee or ankle, or any hip injury, or having any trouble in the backbone. There is a tremendous pressure which will be imparted on the knees, thighs, and the ankles. So this should not be performed by pregnant women. It is said that ladies in monthly cycle, they'll get the benefit out of it to release the backache, but again, very cautious, connect with your gynecologist and doctor, and then only you can perform Malasan. This particular Malasan will also impart a pressure on the pelvic region, and those who have any problem in sacrum or pelvic girdle, they should not do this Malasan. It also impart pressure ultimately on the heart. So hypertension people, they should be careful while doing it, or connect with your doctor. Let's do the Kriya of Malasan. And what we do Ushtrasan, that is a prerequisite for Malasan. So Malasan starts from a Tadasan actually. So let's go first for Tadasan. In Malasan, you have to keep a distance of 1 feet, whereas in Malasan, you can touch your both the legs. So let's do Malasan, and if time permits, we can do Malasan also. Let's do the Tadasan. Okay, so let's take our both the hands up with the Anjali Mudra, salute at the top, and raise our heels. Tadasan. Raise our heels as much as possible with a distance of 1 feet. Very slowly bring your hands to the chest. Your heels are still up. There are variations that when we go down, bending our knees, people, they touch the heel. Some people, they say in their book, do not touch the heel. But as such Malasan, you can touch the heels. Slowly go down and protrude your chest in front. Slowly be on the heels. Remember, okay, the heels are up, you're on the toes. So be on the toes, sorry, not on the heels, be on the toes, and see the pressure you have on your thighs, on your calf muscles. So definitely it takes the shape very fast if you do Malasan for at least 2 to 3 times in your Yogasan. Observe the stretch you have. If you don't support your thighs by your calf, you are really in the air. Your complete weight is on toes. Okay, so you can have this position. You have to part your legs this way and your chest is forward. You have a complete pressure on pelvic region. Very slowly breathe out. Come back with the breath in on the toes. Take your hands up. Breathe in completely and slowly breathe out. That is Malasan. Let's have Malasan, which is little bit more complicated. So let's touch our both legs. Let's go to the Tadasana. Take your hands up. Salute. Anjali Mudra. Very slowly again, similar way. Spread your legs. Come down. Bend your knees. Be on the knees. And very slowly bring your both the hands down. Be on the toes. You're on the toes. It's a balancing asana. Slowly you are touching your elbows to the ground. Your chest is forward and elbows are touching to the ground. You don't have any weight on hands. You have weight on your toes. Also the stretch you have in your pad, your toes and in your knees. Very slowly breathe out and come back. Come up. Take a deep breath and breathe out. Come back to original position. It's very important. People who have just ran some marathon or after the running, this particular both the asanas are contraindicated. They should not be done after running because there's a huge pressure already after running. Your muscles are exhausted, the calf muscles and thigh muscles. You cannot give huge pressure to them and it may lead to sometimes cramp or sometimes a weakness or tearing. Those who have ligaments of your or tendons of your knees tear already, they should not do this asana, right? So let's go to the advantages of it. So apart from these contraindications, if you are healthy, then there are a number of advantages which you get to prevent many things. Now you might have got its matching position with respect to Indian toilets, which is in Malasan. So that is a natural way of expelling the excreta from the body, and in the Malasan, naturally it imparts a pressure in the alimentary canal and it cleans your gut. Malasan. It has a tremendous pressure in the pelvic and also in the colon of alimentary canal. As a result of it, it increases also the excretion and in turn it also have pressure on the stomach, the intestine and increases the digestion. Malasan, the person who will do Malasan will always you will find that his complete portion of lower portion will be thin, Malasan, and will have a very good muscles of thighs and calf and will have always a very small foot size. So doing a Malasan will actually cause a very good posture of the body and musculoskeletal coordination. Also, it says that Malasan calms down the mind. Even if you do Malasan after a very bad meeting 2 to 3 times, provided food is not in the stomach, you will calm down after that. Malasan has a very good effect on our brain also. Okay, so that was a Malasan. Let's go